Okay. Good morning, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me. Trying to make sure everything's all set up. Give me a second. Okay. Good morning, News Space. Thanks for joining. Oh, good. You can hear me, correct? Looks like my audio is working. I've got the SpaceX stream ready to go. I don't have any other streams because I don't have permission to use them. Obviously, for people like NASA Spaceflight, that's their stuff. But as soon as SpaceX goes live, you'll get it here, and we can have a live reaction together. It's gonna be fun time, excitement guaranteed. Wow, I can't believe they're actually going to catch the booster, or at least attempt it. What do you guys think is going to happen? Pardon me while I'm also adjusting other things on my desktop here. It's also been I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I just kind of woke up not too long ago, so bear with me. I'm still kind of waking up a little bit. But like all of you, I would not be missing this for almost anything. So, and I've been trying to keep up with some of the stuff. It sounds like, don't know for sure, but I was listening to NASA Spaceflight. It sounds like it might possibly be a few minutes delayed, but we'll find out. For now, we'll just talk about things. So I'm super excited for this particular mission, because once they can prove the catching the concept, it's going to be critical for the Artemis program overall. Yeah, New Space, I really hope they catch it successfully. It's going to be quite something. I wish I could have been down there. That would have been really neat to be at. If anybody, yeah, we're all excited indeed. No, those who know about this launch, I can't imagine them not being excited about it. Doesn't matter politics, anything. It's just, this is, if they pull this off, it's quite something. It's gonna be like, if you guys all remember there's a couple. Oops, what was that? There was a couple moments in SpaceX history, in particular, that strike me as similar to this moment, and that one of them would be the first booster landing. Oh gosh, I don't remember when it was. It was December. I don't remember what year it was. Gosh, was that 2016 or was it 2015? That first booster landing on land, that was something everybody, the excitement you could hear in the air. The next moment that I think would be as exciting as this would be the moment when the Falcon Heavy first launched. And aside from that, in addition to all the other stuff that's been going on with Starship, I think this is one of the most, if not the most exciting moment, at least in a long time for SpaceX. And that's not to say there hasn't been a lot of exciting things. We've had Polaris Dawn, we've had all the Crew Dragon stuff in the last couple of years. It's been phenomenal. Let me check on the status of anything. If anybody here knows, here's anything about launch delays, let me know in the chat. I'm trying to keep up with it, but it's entirely possible I might miss certain things. I'm trying to keep this countdown accurate as well. But so far as we know, we are 30, just under 39 minutes away. New Space, you skipped 2 exams today to watch it live? Oh no. I mean, that's your prerogative, but I totally get that. But shouldn't skip your exams. but gosh, what is it? I guess it would be I assume it's college. If you don't mind me asking, what were the exams you skipped? No, I get it though. I remember doing stuff like that, especially at the end of the shuttle program. I would skip things to watch the launch and stuff like that. Just a weekly one. That's good to know. I guess it's not really finals. It's middle of the semester, so that's good. I can't condone somebody skipping finals for something like this. Although hopefully a teacher would understand. But then again, you never know. Let's see. I'm reading SpaceX's tweet right now. Oops. Hopefully my camera doesn't mess up there. Reading the tweet says the Starship team is go for prop load. Weather is looking good for the test flight. The launch webcast will go live about 35 minutes ahead of liftoff, which is currently targeted for 7:25 Central Time. So that means I need to adjust my countdown. I've been trying to learn some new things here. So this countdown, for some reason, give me a second to adjust that. What is that? That's about 60 minutes, a little over 60 minutes from now. 63 minutes. Oh gosh, I want to get this somewhat accurate here. 63. Is that correct? No, not 3. Is it not going to do it that high? We'll go that high. Give me a second. It only does an hour? That's weird. Well, this will be... I'll make sure it's accurate when we get to 6:25. So we still have another hour. Yep. New space, I'm seeing that. So that's right at the end of the window. So we figured there would be a little bit of a delay. No big deal. In about 70 seconds, my timer will be accurate. My guess, though, is that if they, well, it's only 30. It was only a 30-minute window starting at 7, so they pretty much have to go at 7:25. They might probably, I suppose they could. It's not like the Falcon 9 necessarily, so they probably could push it 5 minutes. But so now it's only a 5-minute range when they could launch. Let's see. Okay, this will be accurate in just a second. Reset the timer. I want to make sure this is as accurate as it can be. I feel like I wasn't that prepared this morning. I didn't actually think they'd launch today. I figured it. I know they were talking about November, but nice little surprise over the week for the weekend. Hang on. I'll get this reset in just a second. Okay, there we go. Okay, we are now at T-minus 1 hour. Close that up now. Whew. So, give me a second here to... Now, I was hoping to go on live a little earlier today as well, because SpaceX was supposed to undock the Crew Dragon on the International Space Station. Crew 8 was scheduled to undock, and I guess they had to postpone it because of weather. Hang on, when did they launch? Crew 8 launched back in March. They got to be coming up close to their limit how long the Dragon can stay in space. But when they do come home, it'll be Matthew Dominic, Michael Barrett, Jeanette Epps, and Alexander Grabenkin. Oh gosh, I'm terrible at Russian names. Grabenkin. But they'll be coming home. I guess it'll be in a couple of days now. So I think they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna have a new time for the undocking set tomorrow, but it was supposed to be today, and then Splashdown was going to be tomorrow. But you know, weather with the hurricane that just went through postponed that, and then of course Starship was supposed to launch a few minutes after that, and then depending on how things go and how tired I am, since I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, we might stay on for the Blue Origin New Shepard launch. Although one's going to be a little more exciting than the other, I think. Yeah, New Space. Absolutely nobody's watching New Shepard. We can watch that if you want, as long as Starship isn't ongoing. I feel like I need to put some background music on here. Give me a second. Hopefully this isn't going to be too loud. I apologize in advance if that is. Okay. Let me try it way down here. That was something in my ear, at least. Tune in. Okay, so looking at the poll, I have a poll up for those interested about how you think the success will, the catch attempt will go. Assuming a successful launch, what will be the outcome of the booster catch? No attempt commanded abort into the Gulf, crash at or near the tower, or success. There's only a few votes so far. 67% say success. So one of those is me. I think that's my hope, is it's going to be a success anyway. But no, the interesting thing is, if I understand correctly, they're not. I guess there's going to be a manual command to attempt the booster catch, and I think they have to initiate that command before the boost back burn is completed. So that'll be quite interesting to watch. Got to make sure, and that the manual command in addition to all the health checks that the computers do. Trying to figure out the timeline here. Oops. 1 second. Okay, so fueling should begin at T-minus 49 minutes and 50 seconds. So we got a few minutes left before fueling begins, and that's with the liquid methane, and that'll be followed probably about a minute later by liquid oxygen loading. Hang on a second. Don't know if it's your internet live stream. My live stream is lagging. Not sure. See what it is on my side here. I got my phone to kind of test things. It says my stream is healthy, so I'll keep an eye on it. If anybody else notices a lag, let me know. Excuse me. But after liquid oxygen loads, I'm just reading the countdown here, timeline. Then we'll have the booster fuel loading beginning at about 40 minutes. And at 34 minutes, there'll be the liquid oxygen loading. But let's see. Looks like everything, just similar to the Falcon 9, everything should be completely loaded about a few minutes before launch. Oops. Got a notification here. Now we have an hour until New Shepard's launch. Yeah, if New Shepard launches on time, which they rarely do, at 7:30, I don't think anybody will be watching. Because I don't even think I'd want to do a split screen for that one. Because they'll be launching, if they launch on time, it'll be right about when the booster catch would be happening. I kind of wish SpaceX had like a live pad cam that people can use. But like I said, for this stream, feel free to have other streams going side by side, since I don't have access to cameras at the moment. So yeah, like as I was saying earlier, it'll be nice to see this. I think a successful landing here will help with the human landing system overall for Starship and get that stuff progressed. I wish we had more of a timeline for everything for that. It just seems like everything's just kind of been hush-hush about how far along things actually are. I mean, nobody thinks we're going to actually successfully land on the moon by 2026, but it would be nice to know how far along we actually are for things like this. Especially since SpaceX's Starship is on the critical... Probably, I would say it's on the critical path there as far as one of the items that will probably take longer than people expect. That plus the spacesuit, so it's not just SpaceX. But this Starship is really hard. But once it's successful, especially if they catch it on the first attempt, it's kind of a game changer. So you guys in the chat, what are you guys most looking forward to if it's successful? What do you think the next step will be after if they catch it successfully? New Space's recent Artemis updates tells me that there's no moon landing till 20. You know, that's sad truth. That might be accurate. At the rate things are going. Hopefully it'll be before the end of the decade. Yeah, a lot of things over the last few months kind of had me a little bit depressed on that side of things, between Gateway and the spacesuits and and just the organization of Artemis. No, I love Artemis. I love everything that's going on, all the Gateway especially, but just there has to be something that changes in the next couple of years, or the program's in real trouble. And I don't mean cancellation, I just mean just bogged down in delays and cost overruns, and more so than it actually is. I was reading an article from Eric Berger, and one of his opinions is, again, I didn't agree with everything he said there, because he says that we should just cancel Gateway and go straight to the moon, which I understand that completely. But his main point there was that we can't do both, with the current funding situation as it is, we can't do both a landing program and a lunar orbit program at the same time. He may end up being right there. NASA almost needs an extra $3 or $4 billion a year on top of what it has in order to do some of these things effectively. See if there's any new updates here. We should be at prop load, a fuel load right about now. Oops. See if SpaceX has an update yet. So what do you guys think, though, about overall the Artemis? Do you think Eric Berger is correct in that we should probably cancel Gateway. And this is coming. I don't think that's. I personally don't think we should, but oh, that would be sad to see that go. And if we do cancel Gateway, what should we do with the hardware that's already built? That's another good question. Actually, if you guys didn't see my recent video, a couple months ago, or was it a couple months ago? A month or two ago? Time's slipping by for me. I did a video over Gateway. I actually did a good size comparison over it compared to Starship. I wonder if I can pull that up and bring that in without completely messing up my system here. Let's see, new space. You see the government that government funding to NASA is the link that will kill the Artemis program. You mean the lack of funding? I assume that's what you mean. So where did that go here? Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of things. In the Apollo program, it was waste everything but time, and it is definitely not that, and shouldn't be that, to be fair. I mean, the Apollo was unsustainable. I worry that, yeah, I agree. It's definitely too low. NASA's doing too much with too little. I mean, it was so. That's the other thing that had me depressed over the last few months was the cancellation of the Viper rover. Hopefully, that'll make a comeback in the next number of months, whether it's through private industry taking over, or whether NASA gets its act together, has a better budget next year. And just NASA's budgets have never been a huge priority. It's bipartisan, but it just hasn't really been a huge push priority, which I understand, but does make things a little depressing sometimes. And I don't want things to always be about SpaceX, but they're kicking butt. They really are. And Starship will help open up a lot of things, assuming it's successful. My biggest worry about Starship, and this is not criticism, it's just historical worry, and I understand that there's a difference between SpaceX and NASA government funding and all that stuff, but I see a lot of the promise of Starship being very similar to the promise of the space shuttle in the early days. Space shuttle was going to launch all these times, like 50 times a year. It was going to bring down the cost so much. Now, that's not to say that I don't believe Starship can do that stuff. I think Starship will fulfill the promises of the space shuttle era. But it just worries me that we see a lot of similar promises and hopes and all that stuff. It's like, oh no, hopefully reality doesn't come hitting hard. Let's see. See if there's any new updates here. Okay, SpaceX 2 minutes ago says propellant load of Starship's upper stage is now underway. So we're going. I'm just going to find my graphics here, see if I can pull it up, but I can't really find things. Multitasking is not my strong point early in the morning, apparently. So where's everybody viewing from? And what time is it there, I guess? Because I'm in Central Time, so it is only it is 6:41 in the morning where I'm at. Egypt. So Egypt should be pretty dark then. Is that right? Am I getting my... Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, you should be. Gosh, what time is it over there in Egypt? It's got to be close to midnight. Am I way off on my times there? I don't even know. Okay. Oh wait, it's not. Whoa, you're 2:40 p.m. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, so plenty of daylight there. Well, the orbital track for Starship. I'm trying to think, it'll be going down southern, kind of central Africa. So even if it were night, I don't think you'd see anything. That'd be kind of cool to see it though. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna abandon what I was doing here. Okay. Let's see. Too hard to see it, yeah. I guess this can be another poll later. But do we think we'll have another successful re-entry and soft splashdown at the upper stage of the ship? I mean, I remember watching that. Gosh, I'm reminiscing like it was forever ago. It was only like, what, 3 months ago when the Flight 4 happened. And the little flap that was just hanging on. I honestly thought Flight 4 was going to end so many times before it just never did end unsuccessfully. It made it all the way down to the ocean. Okay, 40 minutes until launch. Should be about 10 or 15 minutes before SpaceX goes live. You were new SpaceX. You were excited as heck when the ship splashed down to Flight 40. Oh yeah, I was going crazy, especially seeing the re-entry plasma trail live via. I'm assuming via Starlink. That would only make sense. Stuff we've never seen before. Of course, technically we saw that in the Flight 3, but overall we hadn't seen it before before Starship, and then just seeing that burn through. It's actually kind of eerie seeing that burn through as well. Just brought back some bad memories of Columbia, but just not to make a total U-turn on all that. But yeah, it just crazy to see actual re-entry burn through like that. It's just like melting everything like it's butter. So the live should start now. Is that your hope that they should start the live, or is it actually starting now and I just don't see it? It's not showing up here yet. Yes, his broadcast is not started. Oops. Clicking all kinds of buttons here. If you're still seeing that lag, it might be because it says excellent connection on my end, but it might be because I put it on ultra low latency just to make sure everything was as real time as possible for everybody. So hopefully that didn't come by and bite me. So how long have you, for this is for anybody, but New Space, how long have you been following SpaceX? And what's your favorite SpaceX moment so far? Since June last year, wow. How'd you find out about him? Oh, Fred. Sorry, I'm looking at I don't think I can probably show this, but if you guys go onto Flight Club IO on Twitter, they've got a graphic for those who are in the Houston area of what they might see from a trajectory standpoint of Starship, and it's quite striking. I don't have permission to share it, otherwise I would, but definitely go check that out. Flight Club IO. Now, New Space, you said you've been following since June. I've been following SpaceX since I was in high school. Of course, it was a little while ago. It was in the mid 2000s. So since before they had their first successful launch, and I remember talking to my physics teacher. Gosh, I think it was 2006, and talking about all the plans that SpaceX was going to do, and how they're going to have this big rocket called the Falcon Heavy that's going to be as powerful, if not more powerful, than the Delta IV. Now, granted, the timelines were way off back then, but he just dismissed it like, no, they're just, some small company that's not going to go anywhere, which it's kind of funny to think about hindsight. But to be fair, that was the normal. Small startups would come and they just can't do that normally. You said knowing about any space-related thing here is hard as catching a booster. Well, that's unfortunate, but is it hard to find things through the internet, or is it? I'm not sure. It's just nobody talks about it over there, or is there other things going on? I know for me, obviously I'm into all this stuff, and I search out all the information, but in this area, space is not really a priority for most people, so they're always thinking about other things. No one here is interested in space. Yeah, it's kind of what it is here where I live, and I live in the Kansas City area in the Midwest, and there's nothing. I understand people have their own passions and interests, but it's just not a thing people are generally interested in over here. Mostly because there's no industry right here. I mean, we have aviation and not too far from us in Wichita, Kansas, but as far as a anchor employer in general, it's usually things like medical. Gosh, what else is going on here? There are some in engineering, major engineering firms here, but nothing big. Okay, let's do a status check for everything here. Oh man. Got 33 minutes. Well, so you said no one's interested in space over there. You can always help other people get interested. I don't know if you have a similar situation as I do, but since I'm the space nerd over in in my family and friend circle here in the Midwest, people always come to me asking about things. So I assume people come to you asking about space. You've tried. Yeah, that's understandable. I get it. It's hard to get people to be interested in something they just don't want to be interested in either. Also, especially something that's just happening kind of a half a world away. Just, it's frustrating sometimes, but I get it. It's just that, yeah, not quite the same thing over here, but just some people just aren't as interested. But you know, that's what the internet's for. We can all come together, join, and just chat about space. You found that some people still think the sun sinks in the ocean every night. Oh no, oh no. I know those people do exist, but I think most people online are more trolls than anything else. But I feel sad for some people who truly believe that. Oh, I'm sorry. But hey, I'm sure you can always find some people that are interested. But yeah, that would frustrate me too. I totally get that. Okay, let's see if SpaceX is going live yet. I think it might be. Hold on, I'll get it on in just a second. I think. Thought I saw somebody said they're going live. Oh, there we go. Click on that. Bear with me here. Properties. See if I can get that going here. Interact. Hold on. Well, why isn't this working? Hold on. I will get this to work. I tested it yesterday. I know it can work. Why is this doing this to me? Let me turn off the background music here. We don't need that on here anymore. Is it? We're going to try this again. Let's see. I just need browser. All this. Oops. That's not what I want. Wait. Oh, I just killed the wrong thing. Whoops. Well, bear with me here. Amateur hour. It should be. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hang on, you probably can't hear it. Let me know if you can hear this. Because I have a feeling you can't. Oops. Oops. Sorry, give me a second. I'm trying to get this to work. Of course, now it's not working. This was just working earlier today, or yesterday. Was it working for you? Did I just mess it up? Let me fix this here. Interact. I will figure it out. Give me a second. Let me just take this and take that off. See if that fixes it. Give me a second.
It just so happens that the next Mars transfer window opens in 2 years towards the end of 2026. Yeah, lining up a launch to Mars is similar to how we launched the International Space Station, where we time launches to match the station's orbit.
Okay, I don't know what my problem is. Yeah, New Space, I can also see myself doing backflips. Give me a second, I'll be right back.
Rapidly coming online, with production teams already using the spaceport as construction continues. The 1 million square foot Star Factory brings many parts of the manufacturing process under one roof for the first time, enabling moving as much system integration work as possible earlier in the build process, with the goal of eventually producing hundreds of Starships a year. That's crazy. It's such an impressive building. And assemble entire
Is the volume okay? I know my volume is probably way too loud here. Let me turn me down. But I feel like the audio is messed up. Let me know if the audio could be louder. Good. I'm going to turn my volume down a little bit too. course. Look at those engines. When do I think the first Block 2 ship will fly? Hard to say. I think they need to work on making sure this one flies first. Although, if they catch it successfully, they might. Wouldn't be surprised if they stand down and start updating all the infrastructure and hardware. Finish Pad B. That's beautiful. Gosh, look at all of that. Hmm. That's still pretty crazy. That's just beautiful. The little fin that could. Love the little Mechazilla there. I was just gonna say. Hmm. Mm. It would be wonderful to be in Texas right now. That's good to hear. Who else has butterflies in their stomach right now? Ooh, 48 hours if they needed to. Wow. On the bright side, I think all Starship launches have been gone on the first attempt. I think. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, they have animation here? The animation just gave me... Ooh. Oh. That's going to be a loud sonic boom. We're gonna show us the sounds. Hopefully that music doesn't get me demonetized. Or not demonetized, but... Yeah, it's going to be very loud. It's going to be louder than the Falcon sonic booms. Hopefully nobody loses any windows. That also made me really nervous. It was beautiful, though. Only 7 minutes. Where's the time go? Wayward boats. That's a cool graphic. Yeah, it will. Whew. Oh, so nerve-wracking right now. I have a standing sitting desk. I'm probably gonna have to stand here in a second. I don't think I can sit down for this. I'm gonna go ahead and get that prepped. Give me a second. I'm gonna. Hopefully this doesn't mess anything up. Uh, yeah, new space. My heartbeats are accelerating as well. It's a beautiful rocket. Three minutes. Okay. Bonus heartbeat time. Oh, let's go. You can see the nearest city on the horizon right there. South Padre Island. Oh man. I'll try to be a little quiet, but we'll see. 45. 30 seconds. Going. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Beautiful sunrise. All engines good. Crap. Ooh, man. It's good to hear. That's my ASMR right there. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Gosh, that's beautiful. Be a good flip. That's a gorgeous contrail down there. Three engines. Oh, all engines good. Oh, be stable, be stable, be stable. We're still stable. That's good to hear. Okay. If I heard that correctly, go for booster recovery. Yes! That's a beautiful view, too. Please catch. Yes, I agree. Excitement guaranteed. I'm not sure what I'm seeing here. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm shaking right now. Oh boy. Oh my gosh, it's going right back at his contrail. Oh. Oh my gosh. Engines ignite. Oh my gosh, here we go. Catch it, catch it. Holy crap, oh my god. Oh, it's close. Oh my gosh, they got it. Whoa. Wow. 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 Heard that sonic boom a little later. Wow. That, wow. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. New space. No way. That's crazy. Wow. Ah, wow. I'm 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 at a loss for words. I Oh my gosh. Ship engine cut off. That's good. We still got. Wow. Yeah. Oh man. I wish I had my heart rate like a heart rate meter here, because that was crazy. And now we're nominal orbital insertion. Wow. And we still have a whole 90 minutes. Yeah, my heart too, yeah. Woo. Gosh, I gotta make sure the booster doesn't blow up, but it should be fine. I'll message my dad here real quick. Wow. Jeez. Ah. No words. Yeah, I agree, New Space. This is only the beginning. Oh. Whew. My goodness. That's just a surreal sight. It feels like a render. It's crazy. Let me message my dad here real quick. Yeah, I gotta go rewatch it if you need to. I'm not gonna feel offended on that one at all. Go do what you need to do. That was crazy. In fact, I gotta mute that sound. Come to think of it, hold on just a second here, because that will definitely cause problems. Oops, I messed that up. I'm gonna put my own music on here. Yeah, I need to change up my music a little bit. Here. Yeah, that's fine.
Welcome back to Starship's 5th flight test. It has been an exciting day so far. Even the crowd here is still so excited. We lifted off from Starbase at 7:25 a.m. Central Time. The Super Heavy booster and ship had a successful separation, as well as a good boost back burn and good separation of the hot stage adapter. The Super Heavy booster then completed the landing burn with 13 Raptor engines igniting and slowing down the vehicle perfectly for Mechazilla to catch the Super Heavy booster for the first ever land recovery of the vehicle.
Now, it is insane to think that we're not done yet. We still have, in about 48 minutes, the ship will re-enter. All the flaps that will today, not that could. The ship will re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. Now, as a reminder, one of the main goals of today's test flight is for the ship to make it through the extreme heat of re-entry and to do so in a controlled manner. We learned a lot about this phase during Flight 4 and, as a result, completely reworked the heat shield, but more on all that in just a minute. Now, re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with the spacecraft because re-entering, it'll be re-entering at about 8 kilometers per second, or about 5 miles per second of roughly orbital velocity. Now, those speeds, the spacecraft moving through the atmosphere results in friction and creates a plasma field around the vehicle. We saw this in action on Flight 4 thanks to Starlink, and wow, it was breathtaking.
The
blanket
way down.
of plasma ends up distorting communication frequency.
Amateur hour
it's
over
not
here, guys.
uncommon
Sorry about
to
that.
experience brief blackouts in communication, but hopefully that's not the case today.
And Kate, that's where Starlink has just kind of been just the unsung hero and the MVP of this test campaign. I mean, it's able to give us data, not just awesome video, but also data in real time as we're going through reentry. I mean, this is something
I'm gonna
that
turn my volume up a little bit.
Spaceflight just hasn't been possible.
Okay.
And this is an environment.
Wish I would have done this
that
earlier.
so
It is what it is,
unforgiving,
though.
So hard to model, so hard to
Good,
understand.
perfect.
And
Okay.
for the first time ever, we're able to.
Okay, sorry so
literally
much about
watch as
that.
it unfolds in real time, get that data in real
Oh
time,
gosh.
and we're able to do
Well,
that
we'll
with
at least get
Starlink, and
a
it's-
good reaction video
It's great for us because we get to see something. We get to see the greatest
with
light show
audio
on the planet or off the planet.
for the reentry.
But
Now,
what
I
it
don't have
means to
sound
this program,
personally.
we're able to
Now that I have the
learn
volumes
tremendous
checked out, let me,
amounts about
while
our
I have a
heat shield,
chance,
our
let me
angle of
see if I
attack,
can
everything
fix
that we're
this
doing
to
as
where
we're
I can
coming in
actually
through the
hear it
atmosphere at
myself.
hypersonic speeds.
Let me know if you
And
can no
it's-
longer hear it.
You can't just thank it enough. And
Can you
also,
guys still
special
hear?
Shout out! You're gonna see some additional flap camera views. We've got a really amazing team of avionics, cameras, electronics, software people who made all that possible. And so, hopefully, they're gonna give us an even better show on the way.
Now I can turn
today
things
as we're
up on
coming
my
in
end.
at about 5 times the speed of sound.
Wish I would have done
those
that earlier.
flaps, Dan, that you see there, that's what's helping.
Starship is in a good attitude for entry, approaching the entry interface.
Reading some of your comments.
Some good call-outs there.
Yeah,
preparing
SpaceX
for
does.
re-entry
Nostra, thanks for joining.
Starship.
I hope I pronounced that
again,
right.
that's what,
SpaceX does make it look
Dan was
easy, but I
mentioning,
guarantee,
those flaps
as
on
you
the
probably know, that
vehicle.
was
And if you've been
definitely
watching
not
us
easy.
For the last few minutes, you could
Oh,
see
man.
that the flaps
I'm still-
were rotating around and helping.
I can't
orient the
believe they
vehicle
actually did it,
as it prepares for
the first
beginning
time.
of
It was. I
re-entry.
hoped.
Yeah, exactly.
I wished upon a
Re-entry
star
will
that
be
they would have done it.
enabled by that heat shield
The
that
first
you
time,
see
and they
on the
did, but
bottom
I
half.
honestly didn't think that would
That
happen.
heat
I
shield is
thought
made up of
the reality was
18,000
there would probably be a
hexagonal
crash on the
ceramic
tower,
tiles, and they are designed
or
to
a
insulate the
splashdown
vehicle
just offshore in the
during
Gulf.
atmospheric entry.
Yeah, I know
At that point
exactly.
in
New
time,
space. No one can
temperatures
believe
be
it,
as high
and they're
as
just
26,000
they're waking up today
degrees
just
Fahrenheit,
seeing how.
or about 1400 degrees
I would argue
Celsius.
it proves the
They're-
concept in
the
that
design
this
itself
ship
also
works.
permits for rapid reuse with no
And
refurbishment
I don't want to be
between the
hyperbolic
flights.
about
And
this, but
fun fact that I think
the world of
is
spaceflight
just
might have just changed
incredible
today.
in terms of
Again.
Scale, but the heat shield alone on the ship has a total mass of 10.5
So, looking at
tons,
some of these,
which is crazy because
and if
these
the
things
SpaceX
are
volume is too loud while I'm
really
talking, let me know.
lightweight. They're
But
made
I'm
out
looking
of
at
ceramic. We have a couple of them here.
the
I'm
tiles
holding
on
these
Starship. It looks
on
like there might be
flat
some missing. I'm not
surfaces
sure if that's
as,
on
so
purpose,
go
and there might
that
be some
way,
damaged ones too, but
because
we'll
at
see how it
flat,
fares for
the one
re-entry.
that Jesse has is kind of more what you see there on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd let you guys listen
Having
here.
these different shapes, the flat version and the curved version, allow us to cover a lot more of the surface area of the vehicle. Again, we need to protect every portion of it, so even those curved surfaces, and especially the hinge area, if you watched Flight 4...
Yeah, honestly,
really what we wanna make sure
Master,
that we
I
protect.
thought it had hit
And
the tower,
yeah, Kate, these
but
are very,
other
very lightweight.
other
When you put
angles,
18,000 of
it
them
was
together,
didn't look
they
like it was
add up
actually
to
close.
10.5
Maybe I'm wrong,
tons,
but
which is
it
incredible.
was
Now, we
it
did
was
mention
smooth.
earlier that
Things.
the
Oh,
heat
there's a
shield
re-entry
has
heating.
been
Oh man, here we are.
completely reworked.
Starship has entered the atmosphere, remains on a nominal entry trajectory.
We can start to see that
Every
plasma
flight makes
now
history,
starting to
indeed.
build up on the side. It's not quite full plasma yet, but we are starting to see that color indicate
That's
that the
beautiful.
heat is building up on the heat shield.
Yeah, this is such a cool sight to see because you really never really have gotten to see this live before, before Flight
Before Flight 4.
Yeah, and as Kate mentioned, it's getting a little more red, as you can see there on your screen. That means that heat is building up, but that's exactly what these heat shield tiles are there for, is to protect against this plasma and this really, really extreme heat that the vehicle is going to see for about the next 10 more minutes or so.
10 minutes of
Yeah,
terror
so
here.
the ship will attempt to light the 3 center Raptor engines, and those are the
Yeah,
engines
Master,
that can gimbal
the
or
plasma blackout
maneuver
isn't
or
an issue
point,
with
and they do
Starlink,
that to
combined
help
with the
flip
fact that
until
the ship
engines
is so
point
large,
down
so there's
so that it
plenty of
can land using the
ability
Raptor's
for the
thrust
signal to
in
get up
the
through the
ocean. So
plasma
that will happen
to
after
Starlink.
we get through this
Even with
re-entry
Dragon, for
period.
example, is so
Again, now
small
starting to see. We
that
also might start to
even
see
with Starlink, the
the
signal can't get
flaps
through, which is why
actuate
there's a
little
blackout
bit
for
here,
Dragon.
as the vehicle controls its role during re-entry. That was one
But
of
it's still
the main
impressive to be
learning
able to see
points
this
from
live
Flight 3 was
anywhere in the
roll
world
control,
while it's going through the
didn't
atmosphere.
work quite as well as we wanted it to. We learned that we needed some redundancies, so we added more roll control thrusters, and we'll see those in action as well today, as that was a Flight 3 learning that worked better on Flight 4 and still enabling that same design today.
Yeah,
Starship has passed through 85 kilometers altitude. Flaps now have control of the vehicle.
great call out. As Kate mentioned, the flaps are controlling the attitude of the vehicle. And I love these views because it looks so calm. Everything is relative, right? So relative to this camera on the ship, it looks so calm and smooth, but the vehicle is traveling extremely fast. You can see the speed on the bottom right hand
Yeah, New Space, the
corner
ship
of
is
your
very
screen.
stable.
Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no
I guess,
runways or other humans to
needless
help
to say, I
out.
said shout out to
we
my
also
dad
want
who's
rapid
watching.
reusability. So
Hi.
we're doing propulsive landing instead
He's
of
watching
a
in
more
Florida. He's
traditional
in the
means
Tampa
like
area.
parachutes. And so
He
we
just
will
went through
use
the hurricane
engines
over there.
on this vehicle to help slow the vehicle
Him and,
down for a vertical landing.
Yeah.
my stepmom Nikki and
entry
my
is
brother
going to
Riley.
basically happen in 5 phases. The first is low drag that lasts for about 3 minutes. Next is high heating.
And I'm glad
and
they're
that
okay. Hope you
that
guys know that.
beginning when heating increases
Ooh, look at
above
that.
the heat rate breakup limit. That lasts for about 10 minutes. We then have high dynamic pressure. Starship will continue to slow down and experience increased aerodynamic loads during that phase. And that will happen before reaching Mach 1, about a minute after.
Starship is approaching the peak heating phase of entry, remains on a nominal trajectory.
Okay, so that was phase 2 that he just called out, that I was mentioning. After peak heating is that
Ooh,
dynamic
looks like things are
pressure
coming off.
around Mach 1.
Yeah,
and that will
New Space. I hope IFT4
last
doesn't
about a
repeat
minute
itself.
after leaving the hypersonic
But if it does, I hope it
area,
makes it
and
through
then
all
we
the
go
way.
into subsonic,
Ooh.
and then of course landing burn. Wow, what an incredible view.
The colors are so amazing, and the colors actually also tell you a little bit about the temperature that the vehicle is seeing as well. So I think that's pretty cool that we get this amazing live visual.
Speaking of live visual, the flap, we have more views, more cameras on board Starship, as Dan mentioned a few minutes ago. We are hoping that all 4 flaps will stay more intact than they did last time. We did make some changes to the design in order to help enable
Starship
this.
is now experiencing peak heating, remains on a nominal entry trajectory.
That's good.
Great news there that Starship is continuing along the path that we intended it to fly. You can keep track with how fast it's going and how high it is above Earth using the display that is there on the bottom right-hand side of your screen.
You see the timeline here.
Guys, this is where we're really gonna see a lot of those improvements
So we still got, like,
from Flight 4 really come into action.
Almost 10 more
Is-
minutes left.
You guys kind of talked about, so it's called the static arrow. Those are kind of the poke out points on the flaps. Those get exposed to some pretty extreme heat environments, and so we added some additional, basically made it a lot more robust for the thermal protection there. And we learned not just from visuals and stuff like that, we had those missing tile tests on Flight 4 where we intentionally left some out, kept in some backup layers. They're called ablatives, which means they just gradually melt away to help dissipate the heat. And we've got an entire layer of ablative
So you can turn
underneath
up
the tiles on this
a little bit.
Starship today. So even if you get a gap in a tile or a tile is broken, anything like
Yeah,
that,
Noster,
we've
I
got
think a G-force
essentially
indicator
backup
would be
options.
great.
And what we're really trying
Curious
to
to
do
know what they're
today
pulling right now.
is do an on-target landing. As we lost the flaps, you lose a lot of your control, and so we didn't land right on target last flight. This time we're trying to really nail the target within just tens of meters, and that'll just be a really huge step on feeling like we're closer to bringing a ship back. Obviously, there's a lot of work before we get there, but we just caught a booster. We're going to start looking real soon at when we can catch a ship.
Ooh, look at that.
So the view on your left
to,
is
shrink
as a
my face a
helicopter
little bit
passes
so you
by
can see
Dan,
more of
bound
that.
at Starbase. The view on your left is a camera that's positioned near the nose of the ship, looking basically down toward the flap. The view on the right is looking perpendicular to the flap. So we're looking basically bird's eye view onto the flap on the left-hand side, and then a worm's eye
Yep,
view.
I agree. It's looking
from
better than the
side
last flight
with
so
that view
far.
on the right.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Maverick just buzzed the tower. He might be coming back, so
Looks like we're 10 minutes away from the new Shepard
Now,
flight.
these views
If anybody's
brought to
interested.
us by Starlink. It's incredible that we have this high definition capability. In fact, that view on the left,
Starship is now halfway through the peak heating phase of entry, remains on a good trajectory.
so great news there, hearing that we're about halfway through the peak heating phase. Like I said earlier, this lasts roughly 10-ish minutes. And we did hear earlier that the flaps have control of the vehicle, so also good news there. You know, it is
Yeah, I was
incredible
calling
that we
this.
basically
I was
had
calling today a
views the entire
space-tacular
time.
day.
Right. Yeah. Thanks
Although
to
Crew
Starlink.
Dragon was supposed to
Brain
undock
did
earlier,
black
but they
out a
waived
little
that
bit
off because of
after
weather.
booster catch, so I think we had views. But you know,
And now
all
we have the
through coast
Starship
phase, we
launch,
had some
booster
beautiful
catch,
views
re-entry,
of
and
planet
then
Earth behind
maybe,
the ship
depending on
as
how
it
things
was
work
in its
out,
orbit.
New Shepard
Yeah.
in
And I
West
also do
Texas
want to
might
point
also
out
be
on your right-hand
launching.
screen, we've got a more encompassed view of the flap. As we watched in Flight 4, the hinge area
Throw
was
New Shepard
the
away for
area
now.
where we got a little bit of that.
While
burn
this stuff
through.
is ongoing, I'm
view,
not
this
switching
new
over to New
camera
Shepard,
view
don't
on
worry.
the ship will help us be able to visually see more of what's happening in that area. And again, we have improved our heating tiles, and so hopefully we've protected the hinge a lot better this time.
Landing chill has started.
But
Okay,
again,
wow.
these views are additional to the data that we get on these flight tests that help enable us kind of put the data that we get in the computer to the visuals that we see and try and align those and use that for improvements
Yeah.
in the future.
Now, we heard a call out there saying that engine chill has begun. This is an indication that we are starting to flow a little bit of the super cold liquid oxygen through the hardware, through the Raptor engine, specifically the turbo pumps, to help ensure that the hardware is at the right temperature before we give a full push, a full flow of propellant at engine startup.
It was well into this point,
So
I think.
all of that to say, we are
last
getting
time was
closer to
having
the landing
lots of
burn.
problems.
We definitely
So far,
are.
I
And
don't
again, if
see
you look
any
at the bottom right hand of
indications
your
of
screen, you
burn
can
through.
see the altitude that the ship is, and it has been slowly making its way closer and closer to Earth. We're currently at about 63 kilometers from planet Earth, and you'll see that number trend lower and lower as we get closer and continue through this reentry.
Yeah, this is going to go on for a little, actually a while longer. We have about 10 minutes or so, roughly, before we execute the landing, the ignition for the landing burn, starting with the landing
Look at the
flip.
coloration of that fin.
So we're making a controlled reentry. This is one of the primary objectives for Starship today, is to
wonder if that's
demonstrate another controlled
artifact of
reentry,
it being
even
a
more
stainless
controlled
steel
than what we saw
construction.
on Flight 4. And so far, that is looking good.
Yeah, Noster, I think it is getting a bit toasty because you
And
can
then
see the
as
discoloration
we-
in the
As
fin.
we
But I
start
think that's
to
normal.
really get lower, we're going to start seeing the atmosphere's effects start to take place, and that's when we'll be dropping our speed down closer to the speed of sound. You'll see the flaps start to maneuver. We were able to do a landing burn on Flight 4, which kind of caught all of us off guard. It was pretty incredible after seeing the flaps survive through. And we're going to try and do another one on this flight today. We tweaked it a little bit, so we're going to try and splash down at a little bit of a gentler angle this time, instead of just kind of hit the water and fall over. And the goal with that is try and keep the ship intact, and then if we're able to then get some additional video of it, again, that's
That would be
just
cool.
more data. And everything we can see, everything we can get extra, like a couple extra seconds or minutes of data coming from the ship after
Starship has
splashdown.
passed through the peak heating
Get
phase
in.
of flight, approaching maximum entry dynamic pressure.
All right, we're through peak heating. Coming up is basically Max Q Part 2, where
Does anybody remember
We're
they
gonna
had
hit
they didn't
kind
have
of
any
that part of
engines
the
that went
curve
out
where
during this mission, right?
we're still
This
moving
might be
really
so far a
fast,
perfect
and the
mission.
atmosphere is just dense enough that we're feeling
Knock on wood.
the most pressure. But hopefully we're going to start feeling a little bit less heat now.
Oh, that's a cool angle there. The different cameras.
Looks like we got more views
Ooh, there might
of
be a
each
burn
of the
through coming.
flaps on the ship as it's making its way back down to Earth.
Yeah, the upper left, it looks like there might be a burn through happening.
And we did pass through peak heating and still got really good views throughout that whole
Will it
period.
hold?
Typically during the highest heat on the vehicle, we tend to build up a lot of plasma, and that's typically when we would
you can
lose
see it getting through there.
connection
It's
or views
doing the
of
blowtorch
vehicle.
effect
But
on
again,
everything
with Starlink,
inside it
we were
right
able
now.
to get some live views throughout that entire
And it
process there.
survive.
And we're coming up. We'll start hearing a couple more milestones
Got like
in about 4
3 or
minutes
4
or
more
so.
minutes, yeah.
When we start getting down to like the transonic, the subsonic, when we're starting to move closer to and beneath the speed of sound. And
Anybody else
I mean,
nervous?
we're getting live views, we're getting live data. We've got a couple additional tests on this one today where we left off some missing tiles again to test some additional
You can see
backup
some-
layers. We
don't know if it's
also
burnt
have,
through or
I
not
don't
in
know
that
if we
angle
can
there
still
too,
quite
but
see them in this
some
view,
stuff
but
going
you
on
may
there.
have noticed we had some kind of silvery looking tiles on Starship as well. And those were pretty much standard tiles, but they were wrapped in aluminum. And it was a pretty simplistic,
Oh, yeah.
straightforward
Yeah, it's
one
a big
where
burn through
aluminum
right there.
starts to melt at roughly
I'm
the
not sure
same
if it's gonna make it,
temperature where
guys.
steel starts to lose its strength, not necessarily melt.
Yeah.
And so if we see stuff melting, we know what our steel is going to be exposed to. But yeah, 59 minutes since launch, should be coming up on
Yeah.
transonic and
it's
everything in
getting
just
close.
about 3
How
minutes.
much more time? You said 3 minutes?
Now the views here, we have coverage of
Gotta
all
last another
4
couple
flaps.
minutes at most.
We can see, so
I'm
for
real
those that
nervous
perhaps
here.
didn't catch a glimpse of the vehicle before liftoff, there are 2 flaps at the forward end and 2 flaps at the aft end. The larger camera view that is there on the right-hand side of your screen,
We still have
that
some
is
work
a
to
view
do.
of one of the
I'm sorry I
aft
jinxed
end
it.
or
Everybody
the
said it was a perfect
bottom
mission.
end
It's not anymore.
flaps. We can start to see some heat buildup and peeking through on one of the flaps there in the top left-hand corner of your screen.
Come on, Flappy, hold. It does remind
Once
me
again,
of,
Starship
remind me
now
of Hitchhiker's
at
Guide,
T
doesn't
plus
it?
1 hour and 9 seconds into its flight today, re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Currently about 45 kilometers
so
above the
clenched right
surface
now.
of the Earth, now 44. We are targeting a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean, about, northwest-ish of
Looks like there might be a burn
Australia.
through the back,
and
too.
we are attempting to, as we did on Flight 4, perform a flip maneuver as well as
Starship is at maximum entry dynamic pressure, remains on a good trajectory.
It's fighting.
All right, so that is great news there. Like Dan said earlier, this is basically Max Q Part 2. So this is the greatest amount of aerodynamic loads that the vehicle will experience during its flight. It's coming back through the Earth's atmosphere. It was above the Earth's atmosphere in space where there was no friction. We can obviously see
I'm not sure how much of that is just
heat
burning
as
and how much of that is
evidence
heating.
of that friction buildup. The atmosphere is actually helping to slow the vehicle down. If you're watching the telemetry in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you can see that speed decelerating rapidly.
We might have skirted it this time a little bit.
Now the 4 flaps on the ship help steer the vehicle, and one of the main objectives for the ship today
They should
is
have put an
to
LED light on
demonstrate
there.
controlled re-entry during this phase of flight, this re-entry phase.
Yeah, and we have 6 engines on ship, but we only need 3 of them, the 3 sea-level engines. We will have that flip maneuver happen very close to touching down for splashdown. We'll do that flip maneuver, ignite those engines, slow the vehicle down immediately, and then hopefully
Yeah, a heat
have
camera would be real
what we
nice.
call a soft splashdown in the water. It's probably going to feel a little bit harder
Should be
on
transonic
top of
here
the
in the next
surface of
few
the water,
seconds.
but it'll look pretty gentle.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, we hope to have some more views, even of that phase of the flight. So fingers crossed that we can we can bring those to you. We are hoping to splash down softer than we did last time on Flight 4. Right now, Starship continuing to make its descent back to
Starship
planet
is
Earth.
at Mach 2, remains on a good trajectory.
All right,
This
great
is
news
good.
there. That tells us that the vehicle is traveling twice the speed of sound. So we will then, the next call out that we'll hear is that it is, traveling about the speed of sound, and then we will hear a call out that it
That's
is.
sunrise.
That will be the call out that it is transonic, and then we will hear
Or not
another call
sunrise or
out saying
sunset
that
or wherever it is over there.
subsonic, meaning going slower than the speed of sound.
Starship is transonic.
There it is. So at this
1,000 kilometers.
So at this point in time, we say transonic because certain parts of the vehicle, like the flap that you see on your screen, might be experiencing airflow faster than the speed of sound, while other parts of the ship may be experiencing airflow.
Starship is in the subsonic belly flop.
All right, so now the entire vehicle is traveling slower than the speed of sound, so subsonic. The crowd here at Mission Control
falling like a-
Hawthorne also getting excited, just like us. We're awaiting
Like a parachutist
a
now.
water landing. We are going to
This.
reignite the 3 engines to perform that flip maneuver, and we're basically about a minute and a half, away from the landing flip.
Yeah, the crowd's getting excited here as we get closer and closer to splashdown. Again, just about a minute away from the expected splashdown, so we should see a lot happening coming up here shortly. We're currently having a view of one of the flaps and it is a little bit dark
Great
on your
connection,
screen, but
though.
hopefully we'll get some good views of the ship as it makes that flip maneuver and touchdown for splashdown.
Yeah,
Yeah, guys, we saw that speed drop like a rock. So we're doing a belly flip right now, or a belly flop right now. That's what's kind of, if you saw the high altitude campaign, that's the unique thing about how Starship
than a
comes
minute.
back. So we've bled off pretty much all of the speed we're going to. We're essentially at terminal velocity.
Starship is at 5 kilometers
and
altitude,
then-
remains on target.
That's good.
Five to go. Coming up soon. Landing burn.
Come on, you got this.
2 kilometers away.
Starship is on target, approaching landing burn startup.
So keep an eye on the bottom right-hand side of your screen as well. That will be the indicator when the Raptor engines ignite, if we are unable to see that illumination ourselves.
Landing burn startup.
There we go. We're up right.
What a cool view of the reflection of that landing burn.
You can see the water just behind the ship.
Look at that. I think they got it.
Starship has landed.
An incredible view. I think it is safe to
Oh,
say
look at
we
that.
have a ship in the water.
Oh, did we lose signal? Oh, they got a boat out. They have a buoy out there. And it blew up. That's expected. Oh my gosh, that was great.
What an incredible end to Starship's journey.
Wow.
A live view
Buoy
from the
Cam
main
2
buoy that we had
in
out at the
Indian
landing
Ocean
zone.
version.
An incredible
Wow.
view of the ship landing just about on target as they were calling out.
It's still there, sinking like a boat.
That was amazing. And we were not intending to recover any of the ship's
No, Nostra, I think
hardware,
this is
so
a
that
buoy
was
cam, like a drone, basically.
The best ending
Oh man,
that
it's
we could have
sinking like the
hoped for.
Titanic almost. Oh man.
Man.
Is that engines up
I
first?
don't think we're going to be able to get a ton of extra video of the heat shield, but
Wow. I'm actually surprised it's still floating.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I was
you
thinking
know
the same
hit
thing. We might have
target
gone underneath the water
because
for a few
we
seconds.
had these buoys placed in a pretty specific spot, so
They are on target.
what a day. I feel like that's what I get to say. What a day.
What a day indeed.
I mean, everything started off today with that launch. We were able to lift off towards the end of our window, 7:25 a.m. Central Time. 33 out of 33 Raptors in the way uphill. Successful
Wow.
hot stage. Booster came back. We watched it come down right behind us.
I mean, that's
watched
crazy.
It get caught.
Crazy.
And that,
What a
that
day.
broke my
What a
brain
good
for
day.
while. I'm really happy we had coast for a bit, but that's first ever booster catch, major step on the way to rapid reusability, and ship just gave us one heck of a show, making it through a controlled re-entry this time, flaps intact, made it down to the water. Hey, starships were meant to fly, and it sure as
Starships were
hell
meant
flew
to
today.
fly.
So let's get ready for the next one. Over to you guys.
Wow.
They were meant to fly, and they were also meant to be caught by Mechazilla.
Yeah.
It's been such an incredible day today. Congratulations to our teammates and to everyone who supported the Starship program. And thank you to all of our future customers for your support. And we'll also like to thank the people of Cameron County, Texas, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of
Checking Blue
Mexico,
Origin, too,
and
while we're at
the
it.
Australian Space Agency.
Now be sure to follow SpaceX
Looks like
on
they don't have a
X
new
for
teaser for
more
that, but it's
updates
fine.
on today's test flight and, of course, for future Starship news. Today was
New space, so you
amazing.
wonder what
but
caused the ship to
SpaceX
explode.
action isn't over yet.
Probably an
Soon,
overpressure.
Falcon Heavy will launch
it hit the
NASA's
water,
Europa Clipper, and we're
fell
also
over,
going to be returning Dragon
and,
back to Earth with NASA's
probably the
Crew
waves.
8 astronauts. So congratulations
When will the
again
first
to
payload
the
be?
SpaceX
No
team.
idea.
What an amazing
No
launch
idea.
and an even cooler catch. Thank you for watching, but we're going to leave you with an awesome recap of what
Let's
has
watch
been
this
the
real quick,
most
and then I'll-
epic day.
Wow. I mean, that is just, it's magical. Did they make contact? Yeah, that's exactly what they expected. Wow. Living history, everybody. We're living history. Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna have to get down there for one of those. Gosh. And of course, Mechazilla doing the moonwalk there. That's coming soon. Starship, lunar starship coming. Okay. Gonna turn this down here a little bit. Oh wow. Wow. That's all I can really say, guys. That was something. Let me I'll expand my bubble a little bit here. I'm probably gonna wrap this up real quick. I appreciate you guys tuning in here. Nostra, what a great presentation. I don't know if you're referring to me or not, because I definitely could have used some improvement there, but yeah, SpaceX's presentation was great. But yeah, I should probably be doing more launch streams. If you guys enjoy that, I'll try to do it more. I'll try to be a little more prepared as far as the tech side of things. Maybe have a bit more of an outline. This is more of a hangout anyway, and planning on doing some of my podcasts again soon. Carmeline Cafe, and usually that's on Sundays, but just when I have time. So, and hopefully I have a couple new videos coming out soon as well. Yeah, thank you, New Space, for those compliments. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is great. Hopefully, hopefully the next launch will be relatively soon. I think they could be ready if they wanted to, as early as December, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's into next year sometime. They're still working on Pad B for that launch tower, and they probably got a lot to learn from this flight. They probably have some, since there were still some burn-throughs, they probably have other areas they have to fix in the fins to get that going, because there's no way the ultimate end goal for ship is not to land on legs, at least on Earth. They actually want the tower to also catch the ship at some point, which that in of itself is crazy also. But obviously they just showed it could work. But imagine doing a Starship flip and burn landing and then being caught by the tower arms. That would be crazy. But they have to show that it can successfully go through reentry every time, because the last thing they want, especially where Starbase is located at south tip of Texas, they would go over land no matter what during reentry, and the last thing you want is a debris field all over northern Mexico and southern Texas. So so I would imagine we're still a little bit ways away from a catch attempt for the ship, but either way, we're well on our way. The next thing they have to do is actually send a payload up. It'll probably be a bunch of Starlinks. Whether that happens in the next flight, probably not, but they got to start doing some maneuvering up in orbit. Then they also have to start testing the in-space refilling. That's going to be a whole thing to do with cryogenics, and then showing how long that all lasts. That's a big question mark of the boil off. There's just so much to do, but this was a huge step. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, because I was up real late last night and I was up real early, but it's been a really great Sunday so far. Yeah, space is awesome, guys. Space is awesome. I don't know if people see that and they're not excited, they're just broken. It is what it is. This is just absolutely a good day. So yeah, bye. Have a good night, good day, wherever you guys are located, and I'll see you guys next time. Until next time, Ad Astra.